Okay, so this is a story, and it's called Show Me What Love Is. Day 1. Shane thought the package was for him. There it was, left on the front step like a foundling. A fat red heart drawn on the brown wrapping paper bled from an elaborate arrow. A rip at one corner gave a glimpse of red and gold inside. The name of the addressee was given as Mine Own. Shane put the package on the kitchen table and poured a glass of morning Chablis. Carefully, he removed the wrapping to reveal premium red paper tied with a black silk bow. The box inside was crimson, and inside that was a small carved chest inlaid with red and gold lozenges. "Nicholas, my love, you're getting there at last." He lifted the tiny clasp and opened the lid. The shock took a moment to sink in. Then he kicked back the chair and vomited into the washing up bowl. The gift was an ear. Shane looked sideways at the thing as if it might sit up and look back at him. He rinsed his mouth again and went to the bathroom to brush his teeth and hovered at the kitchen door until he ran in, grabbed his keys from the hook and ran out of the house. The barber shop was busy, and he worked in grim monosyllables until Duncan, who rented the adjacent chair, hinted that he was usually a misery when he hadn't eaten. So Shane ate a sandwich and felt better. Forget the gym, though. Food, then. Clutching a hot pizza box he had bought on the way home, he faced the gap in the kitchen doorway. There it was, naked and prone, vile, yet not quite the monster of that morning. He felt an odd nudge of guilt, as if it were a disgraced pet left alone all day. Nick and their friends would be tittering right now. Shaky Shane getting his knickers in a twist again. Having one of his turns, is he? He laid the greasy box down on the table and drew up a chair. "Looks like we're dining together, doesn't it?" he said. 2 glasses of Merlot down, he called the police number for non-emergencies. Emboldened by the recorded voice, he leant closer. The ear lay on a cushion of crimson silk. A triangle of red stuck out above the rim. Hesitating, he snatched it out as if expecting to receive a bite. An envelope. Putting the phone carefully aside, he drained his glass and tugged at the little ribbon. Inside was a rectangle of thick red paper bearing a message. As promised. Kiss, kiss, kiss. The hold music warbled. Shane ended the call. Day 2. Duncan was chatty, full of his coming trip to Las Vegas, the very place where Shane and Nick had spent their honeymoon. Dear God, was it 4 years ago already? He wondered what he would do if a one-eared man sat in his chair. Usually ears were an obstacle, and apart from being occasionally funny, were just things on the head you didn't cut. Today, he found himself looking at them in a new way. 2 days, and not a dicky bird from dear husband Nick. A third text of "Hi, remember me?" followed by "I take it we're still married," broke Nick's silence and prompted the usual checklist of complaints. "Shane, I'm working. This isn't a holiday. I happen to be busy for a reason. Would you rather I didn't pay the mortgage?" Shane hissed and shouted and said this time he really was going to pack his bags. When he came steaming out of the back room, Duncan's urgent eyebrows reminded him to turn it down and apologise to his customer. After work, he sipped raspberry gin in the kitchen because Nick wouldn't have liked it. As promised. Kiss, kiss, kiss. The beautiful black ink said it all. The scrap of wrapping paper ferreted from the recycling bin told a tale too. The address on the package was 27 Cali Close, whereas Shane and Nick lived at 27 Cali Crescent. The ear was a gift for someone else. Eating whatever he could throw in a pan, he poured another drink. "Come on then." He flipped the clasp on the little box. "Let's be having you." The thing was pallid, bloodless, which made sense, but being presented on its nest of silk lent it tones of pearl and ivory. tip to tail, the length was no more than 4 or 5 centimetres, and a dot marked where an earring had once hung. Why remove it? Curious and drunk, he tried to add a few of his own earrings on it and understood. Adding jewellery cheapened it, made it tacky like a tawdry effect in a horror movie. The pad of the lobe could be read as the dot at the bottom of an elaborate question mark. Who was the sender, and who was the original owner of the ear? The thought and the care and the labour put into this gift surpassed mere affection. Shane was the lucky voyeur of a deep and special secret, and nicely merry on the gin, he could no longer resist sharing it. "Okay," came Nick's reply to his text. "What is it? Looks like seafood dug out the bin." Shane typed with care. "So's hun, not trying to weird you out." And then, "Also love you big, kiss 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 kiss." Flushed, he answered Nick's call. "Okay, Shane, you've lured me in." Nick's voice was just on the right side of testy. "How drunk are you and what the hell are you up to?" "We got an ear in the post. Can you believe it? I hadn't seen how funny it is until now." "We got an ear in the post." A withering sigh and a whispered, "Jesus Christ." "No, Nick, darling, I'm not kidding." "This is the most idiotic pantomime yet." "It's not a pantomime." "Every damn time, Shane." "I'm not making this up." "Talk to me tomorrow, Shane. I haven't got time for this rubbish right now." "Maybe I should slice my own ear off if it gets my so-called husband's attention." The exchange culminated in gin and glass up the wall, and a pledge from Nick that his business trip would now extend into the following week. Shane gorged on takeaway chicken and sulked with the rest of the bottle. Venting online generated the usual platitudes and emojis from so-called friends. Just before slouching up the stairs, he wrapped the box in a towel and placed it on its shelf in the fridge. Day 3. Shane called into work. "So sorry to let you guys down. What am I like? Must have been the prawns." "I saw what you posted last night," said his boss. "Trouble in paradise." "Well, for once it wasn't. I had a dodgy curry. Spent half the night trapped in the loo." "Okay then, Shane," said his boss. "Look after yourself." He sounded relieved. Nothing from Nick. Tending his hangover, Shane posted a penitent retraction of his drunken rant and an image of a partially eaten prawn curry he'd found online. More platitudes, more emojis. Chin on the tabletop, he tapped the rim of the little box. The maker of that gift wouldn't be moping and whining for sympathy, and whoever received it wouldn't be wasting their marriage hungover. Head heavy, he dozed. When he woke up, the ear was still there, unperturbed on its silk nest. "Watching over me, huh?" He started on the leftover chicken. "Something else dear husband doesn't approve of. Not that you have to worry about that sort of thing." How serene it was. The milky folds could have been pinched into shape by a lover's fingers. The outer curve, making a slight elfin peak, was delicately answered by the inner swirl. Missing was the flap of cartilage near the orifice, which had made it appear incomplete, but Shane came to see the artist's intention. Excluding the extraneous segment gave the ear a curling aspect, like a seahorse floating in the ocean. It could have been a tiny animal softly asleep, and the severing cut, so exquisitely executed. There was no doubting the sender's sincerity. He propped the note against the little box. As promised. Kiss, kiss, kiss. A gift comes with a story that carries it. Gifts of friendship, of sympathy, gifts of condolence and apology. In the early days, Shane and Nick had made much play with giving. There had been many presents, large and small, the large ones mostly from Nick as he made the real money. They'd had fun with it. The bedroom suite, the baby 4x4, matching bicycles, that lovely dressing gown, some wonderful aftershave, secateurs for the roses, also a present. The list was ruefully long. What had been born on love and joy was now just a quick means of making up, or the result of plain nagging. Shane accepted that you had to work at marriage, but not at romance. When romance is a chore, it ceases to be romantic, and you are left with a set of techniques for making your contractual arrangement bearable. Had he and Nick fallen so far? The writer of that note would have a swift answer. Cupping the ear on his palm, he traced its whirls and valleys. Shame you can't hear me, huh? Sorry, bad joke. He switched on the radio and cleaned the kitchen, wiping up the dried gin and the broken glass. By the time he finished, the living room, the hallway, the bedroom and the upstairs bathroom were perfect. The rest of the house required no attention. Even when Nick was home, most of the rooms were barely used. He posted, "WTF, going for a stroll," getting a few exclamations in return. Home again later, he went to bed early and slept until morning. Day 4. Duncan took the message. "So you're okay then, apart from the prawns, I mean?" "Weirdly, I'm pretty good. Kind of a strange head state, you know?" "Yeah," said Duncan. "Happens with food poisoning. And you and Nick, that's sorted, is it?" "Yeah, far as it ever will be, I suppose." Shane could tell Duncan didn't believe him. "Who knows? Could even be the end of our famous public displays. Shame, really. I should have sold tickets, shouldn't I?" Duncan laughed. "Next time it happens, I expect a discount. Look, the boss wants to know if you'll be in next week." Shane said he would be able to tell them tomorrow. Tomorrow, he would know for sure, one way or the other. He picked up the package and headed out. The house was more daunting in daylight. He had imagined a location from a Hollywood movie, a long wooden frontage with a double garage and a tree on the lawn. What he had found during his evening stroll was brick and detached, just like his own house, but with paint cracked on the original window frames. Around the square of lawn, the borders bloomed in neat arrangements, as did the large planters either side of the front door. The driveway was still empty. If no one answered, he would wait, holding the gift, the fat red heart now taped up. Shane pressed the bell. The end.
Right.
That was called Show Me What Love Is. So Shane, at the end, he's gone to find the person who was to receive the ear.
But that's the end.
That's the end. That's the end. Shall we play some music?
We could play some music, and then we'll. Do you have more stories? Is that the only story you're going to tell, or have you got other stories?
I've got some other stories. Yeah, I could tell one later on if you want me to.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll play.
Yeah.
I'll play one track, then we'll come back.
Yeah, sure.